Guru Nation, welcome back to another video. It's a very special one here in Mexico City. I've got Ivan Castillo on, and I've got a bunch of his colleagues. Ivan is a associate director at a very big CRO. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And for 15 years, you said?
Yeah, I have been working in clinical research for about 15 years.
I've been doing 19.
Oh,
Next year will be 20, so we're around the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot changed since then, but a lot stayed the same too.
Yeah, I think that since the beginning and now, seeing how clinical research has evolved has been a lot of change, and we have seen a lot of progress in clinical research in different countries, especially here in Mexico.
Well, here in Mexico City is like obviously the biggest city in North America, but the research since you started. 2010 you started?
I started in 2009.
2009. So since then, how has it changed research in Mexico?
Well,
or is it the same?
No. It definitely is not the same. I have seen growing the market in clinical research very significantly here in the country, and well, not especially only in Mexico City, but in different cities in Mexico. The number of sites, the number of patients, the number of studies, even the number of professionals joining in clinical research has increased a lot. I will say that when I started, just a few people know about what is clinical research here in Mexico City and in general. And now, even considering after the pandemic, I think that that's why like a boom about clinical research, and I could say that nowadays a lot of people, a lot of professionals are very interested to join into this industry.
Wow! So you're talking about like CRA, coordinator. We're gonna go around because we have everyone here. We have coordinator, CRA, pharmacist, doctor, but like the CROs here when you started were very small. You said like the big CROs, they were smaller.
Yeah. I remember that when I started, there was only a few CROs based here in Mexico, particularly here in Mexico City, and well, throughout the time, several CROs have been interested to continue making business here in the city. Now I would say that the top CROs in the world has an office here based in Mexico, and with the time more and more people have
every sponsor.
Every sponsor, and not only on the sponsor side of the CRO. Now also a lot of people is also interested in working also in the side, you know, private.
That's what we were talking about.
Exactly.
That's new to me. That's new. And that's something that we're very interested with Latinos in clinical research, and it's one of the reasons why we came here to meet, because this is what Latinos in clinical research are supposed to do, networking with people, developing relationships for clinical research, because it's a very big industry, but it's very small.
Yeah.
Like you tend to know everyone who works in the space, more or less. No?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that it's very interesting to see that you have a specific group for Latinos in clinical research. To be honest, I have not seen this kind of groups, especially in the US, but it is very interesting how you can make this networking with the different people, not only in Mexico, but in other countries in Latin.
Exactly. Colombia, Argentina, we've interviewed people from everywhere, Cuba, everywhere, and of course the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that also clinical research has this kind of advantage that you can meet people everywhere, right? And you can make this kind of connection in different countries. And especially, well, I would say that even in Latam, Mexico is not the only country who has a role about clinical research. There are other countries that also has increased this kind of industry, like for example Colombia, maybe Argentina, Brazil. Brazil used to be the most important country in the region about clinical research. So it is not only Mexico. I think it's.
I wanted to ask a question because you guys, and we'll introduce everybody right now, but you're also teaching. You're an instructor.
Yeah.
In the U.S., I tell people, like, you don't really need, if you're a medical assistant, you didn't go to college, you just have a degree. Over there in the U.S., you get a certificate, you're a medical assistant. Every doctor office has medical assistants. They could be very good coordinators too. in Mexico, do you need like a degree to be a coordinator? Or can you be like just a medical assistant? Do you need a bachelor's degree like undergrad?
Yeah, I think that it will be depend on each site or on each company. But in general, I will say that in order to join into clinical research, you need to you need to get a degree in health science. Is the general requirement for
so here that's a requirement.
Exactly. And well, this degree in health science includes chemistry, nursing, doctors, what other
Anything.
biologists, and anything related to health science. And most of the people that get this kind of degree started looking for opportunities in clinical research. I started teaching because I get an invitation for a study coordinator in a site when I was a CRA, and she invited me to join into the teaching space for a clinical monitoring program that is provided in one of the most important public universities here in Mexico. And after that, I like it too much because I realized that a lot of people is interested in the industry, but they do not know what is clinical research. And obviously, working on the CRO side, as you know, maybe in some times we have had a lot of concerns or issues about shortage of the professionals working here. You know,
and here is the same.
And here is the same. Absolutely, it's the same. So I was also interested in teaching and develop other people because it's the way how we can spread the message about clinical research, how we can join, and how we can even act as a mentor for everyone's interested. Here in Mexico, we don't have any entity that can certify professional in clinical research. Nevertheless, I think that there have, well, in the last year, there have appeared other institutions or academics that the idea is to provide training, and they have like associations. I remember one of them, one important organization is APERIC, is the Association of Clinical Research Professionals, that has been created for some people working in the CRO industry or in the pharma, and they have an association with they have relation with ACRP and other.
Well, maybe for Latinos in clinical research, we have to do that.
Exactly.
Pharmacovigilance and a lot of other career. You can have medical writer, medical monitor.
Exactly.
There's a lot you can do.
Yeah, there is within clinical research, there is a lot of opportunities, and considering Mexico that it has been growing, and also that different services, sponsors are very interested to have different services here in Mexico. So as you can see, pharmacovigilance, coordination, medical writing. So I think that there is a very good future for people that is working and interested to join here.
No, I do too. And the last thing when we wrap up, you were saying that you were a CRA in the past, and the sites here in Mexico haven't adopted the eSource eReg.
Yeah,
right? It's very few that have adopted it so far.
Yeah, actually, I think it's the main challenge here for the sites or doctors or investigators who are trying to get into the clinical research industry, because as you know, clinical research is evolving, and the idea is to have everything more digitalized process, right? And moving from the paper to the systems that also consider that the system needs to be validated, needs to be regulated, so it's not easy. And I think that most of the sites are trying to do that, but definitely it represents a challenge nowadays.
Well, thank you very much, Ivan, for that, and all the rest of your colleagues as well. And we'll do maybe quick videos for the Latinos in Clinical Research. Go check that out if you're watching on my channel. The link is underneath. And Ivan's LinkedIn. You want people to connect with you?
Yeah.
On LinkedIn. I want to tell everybody, use your LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. We recommend to all of them to use LinkedIn.
It's very important.
It's very important, exactly.
That's how you get connected. You stay connected to everybody. It's growing a lot. So thank you guys so much for
thank you, Dan. Thank you for visiting us.